Hello and welcome to OBN English News Service with me, Azay Magarsa. The Oromo and Somali People-to-People Conference will be held tomorrow in Jigjiga town. The conference is aimed at further strengthening the two people's relations. Participants of the conference also arrived in Jigjiga town. Vice President of the Oromo Regional State, Shimallis Abdisa, and his delegation also arrived in Jigjiga. OBN's Olkaba Wondimu is in Jigjiga and he's live over the phone. Hello, Olkaba.
Hello.
Great to have you. What's happening there? Tell us about the conference. The conference is going to be held tomorrow for the second time, and the first one was held here in Adama town. So, what's the main focus of the conference?
Thank you very much for your kind service. As you know, the Oromo Regional State is strongly working into strengthening and sustaining the people-to-people relations so far in the region and in the related as well as in the country. Accordingly, the Oromo Somali or Somali people-to-people conference will take place in Jigjiga town of Somali Regional State in tomorrow morning, starting at 8:30 from the morning. For this event, a delegation led by Vice President of the Oromo Regional State, Shimallis Abdisa, and other federal and regional officials and government officials have arrived in Jigjiga Gerald Wilwal Airport right now. And after their arrival, they was welcomed by Vice President of the Somali Regional State President, Mustafa Mohammed, and other senior government officials. Upon arrival, they have also had a media brief, and they said, "Welcome to this," because Somali and Oromia and Oromo have shared the same, have the same common from this culture, language, and other identity, as well as their perspective is also the another one. And this is the beginning, said the president of the Vice President of Oromo Regional State, Shimallis Abdisa. The government of Oromo Regional State will work strongly to sustain the ever-studied and bond the relation between the two countries. Said, and they have, that's all what they have for now. And to tell you the next programs, in the night there will be a dinner ceremony that's organized by Somali Regional State government. Lastly, tomorrow morning, starting from 8:30, the conference will take place according to the schedule provided for us. That's all I got for now.
Thank you, Olkaba, for joining us.
You're welcome.
The Federal Attorney General Brahanu Tsaggaye says lawyers should sustain justice and court reforms in offering veracity and fair service. Federal Attorney General has reviewed its annual work performance. Oluma Baina has more on this.
The Federal Attorney General has evaluated its 2018-2019 work performance and put direction for 2019-2020 fiscal year. A research paper that reveals the justice service approach of the sector was also presented. Providing justice service to the public has also been improved, though it needs some corrections and adjustments, it was said. The Federal Attorney General Brahanu Tsaggaye said that the government has been strictly working to ensure rule of law in the country. Our major focus is to ensure supremacy of the law in the country. We have to also protect human rights as well. We have therefore working many jobs in this regard. The main objective of the government is also protecting human rights. Brahanu noted that the government has been taking corrective measures to ensure the rule of law and protect human rights. This sector has also reforming itself, it was pointed out.
Nationwide and regional political parties discussed on articles included in the Electoral and Political Parties Draft Bill of Ethiopia regarding support for political parties. The parties raised concern on an article which states that the amount of financial support that a political party receives shall be determined by the number of votes it wins at federal and state council elections. Kaduran.
Nationwide and regional political parties have held discussion on articles included in the Electoral and Political Parties Draft Bill of Ethiopia regarding support for political parties. They raised concern on an article which stated that the amount of financial support that a political party receives shall be determined by the number of votes it wins at federal and state council elections. According to them, the requirements will put pressure on political parties and called for review of the article.
Why finance political party
The government should allocate enough financial support for political parties in order to make them to sell their ideas to the public. The government should facilitate materials like camper for us for our daily activities. We need also vehicle to move from one place to another place. Amma Mokonnen is a lawyer. He said that financial support of political parties should be a support which can encourage them. You have raised very important ideas, especially regarding financial support the government provides for political parties should be improved. It should be in the way of strengthening them. On the event, it was said that everybody should focus on nation's issues than political parties. Merging of political parties and the fate of political parties that have not been booked by the National Electoral Board of Ethiopia are among the other agendas discussed on the event.
Ministry of Culture and Tourism disclosed that it is working to strengthen people-to-people relations of the country. The ministry has evaluated its performance here in Adama town. Oromo has a story.
Ministry of Culture and Tourism has been evaluating its 2018-2019 work performance here in Adama town. It is also expected to put work directions for 2019-2020 fiscal year. According to annual report of the ministry, protecting heritage of the country, strengthening relations of nations, nationalities and peoples of the country, organizing cultural forum are among the strengths of the ministry. Lack of working in unison on protecting heritage of the country was also raised as major limitation. Minister of Culture and Tourism, Dr. Hirur Kasau, said that the ministry couldn't get benefits from the tourism to the extent it should.
Most tourists do not come to Ethiopia only for recreation. Rather, they want to research on different issues of our country. So we have to facilitate things like creating hospitable situation, including hotels, especially in remote areas.
Dr. Hirut noted that the ministry has been working to strengthen people-to-people relations in the country.
We've been working to strengthen local and national values so as to make them instruments of problem solving. In doing so, we can strengthen the relation of people of our country.
Vice Head of the Oromia Culture and Tourism Bureau, Admasu Wagari, also noted that the region has done remarkable jobs in terms of restoring and strengthening value of the people of the region. Gada system for Oromo people is its life. The system had been oppressed at least for a century. As a result, it faces many challenges. But now, we have been restoring it. Admasu noted that Oromo people are going to celebrate Irrecha festivity of 2019 in Finfinne city after 1.5 century. Celebrating Irrecha festivity in Finfinne city is a great achievement. Residents of the city should also be proud of this. At least 5 to 6 million people are going to invest in the city that day. So this is a great business for them.
The government of China donated 9,000 metric tons of wheat and rice in humanitarian aid to Ethiopia. The emergency food aid would be used to respond to people affected by El Nino-induced drought and displacement. Oromo again has more on this.
The government of China has donated 7,987 metric tons of emergency food aid worth more than 7.2 million USD to Ethiopia to support the country's humanitarian response. Chinese ambassador to Ethiopia, Chan Jian, during the handover ceremony said the assistance is humanitarian responses for internally displaced peoples and El Nino-induced drought-affected peoples in the country. The ambassador appreciated the swift and effective responses of the Ethiopian government in easing the food shortage and efforts to address the root causes of the problem. He also welcomed Ethiopia's effort in consolidating stability in the country and its indispensable role in maintaining peace in the Horn of Africa. Recalling that China has been standing with Ethiopia ever since the onset of the disaster induced by climate change in 2015, the ambassador said China has extended around 60 million USD worth of food assistance both bilaterally and via World Food Program. He affirms that China will continue to support Ethiopia, mentioning the agreement between the two countries during this year's Belt and Road Forum to provide 14.41 million USD worth emergency food assistance to help alleviate food shortage in Ethiopia. Ambassador Stan said, in addition to providing food aid, China is advancing agricultural cooperation with Ethiopia to help the country achieve development in the sector.
Ethiopia, like many other least developed countries, is basically an agricultural country. Indeed, agricultural development is key to eradicating hunger and poverty.
In this regard, China has been advancing agricultural cooperation with Ethiopia through sending senior experts, carrying out technological cooperation, conducting vocational education and training projects, he stated. National Disaster Risk Management Commissioner Mituku Kasa said that the donation is timely and Chinese humanitarian assistance has been increasing in amount.
It is to be recalled that the year 2018-19 was a great challenge to all of us because of the IDP issues coupled with the drought-affected population, and for these different joint efforts have been exerted to avert the devastating drought and conflict situations.
Jimma Town administration announced that in the summer citizenship service, more than 15,000 houses of needy people will be built. Addis Asafan.
The youth in Jimma zone of Socorro district have started citizenship duty services. They started rendering services by rebuilding old houses of destitute mothers. In addition to rebuilding the old houses, the youths also gave blankets. The youth noted that participating on such activity would give mental satisfaction, and it also goes with what Premier Dr. Abiy has suggested.
It gives an amazing feeling. Everything would pass, but doing such kinds of jobs is really remarkable. It is like a rebirth. There was no such kind of volunteering service before, but since Dr. Abiy declared it, you could see Kero and Kere around in participating on such promising job. As the Prime Minister has said, we should support vulnerable and destitute individuals.
Chief Administrator of Socorro District Tajua Babiya noted that out of 315 houses to be built, 17 houses have been built so far.
We've set big plans and we are working on them.
Chief Administrator of Jimma Zone Abdul Hakim Mulu said that in the entire Jimma Zone about 15,000 houses would be constructed for vulnerable women per the plan said.
I think this would strengthen our unity. Helping each other is our virtue of early days. We are not going to bring a new culture, rather we stick to our forefathers' norms.
Those destitute women whose houses are rebuilt extended their gratitude to the youth.
There was no any spot to sit. I was fearing that it could be knocked down if hit by bad weather. Thanks to Lord, I am able to see this beautiful house of mine. May God bless you. I'm really glad. While they were coming here and telling me that they would rebuild my house, I thought it was a nightmare. Now I am in bliss of joy. That's it from me and the whole team. Many thanks for joining us.